Hello folks, my name is Mark and this is Why I Hate the World. How's everybody doing? So, I think I'm going to make a video about Chick-fil-a, and if you don't know what Chick-fil-a is, you know, if you live in another country or something and you don't pay attention to our stupid fucking news that's in the United States, what's going on is that Chick-fil-a is it's like a fried chicken fast food kind of place, and it's like a chain, you know. And the guy who owns it is apparently this crazy Christian type dude, and he donates a lot of money, you know, to anti-gay causes, right? And so a lot of gay rights activist people like organize this internet boycott of Chick-fil-a, you know, don't eat there and all that stuff. And then that probably would have went away, except that Mike Huckabee decided to get involved. And if you don't know who Mike Huckabee is, he's a Southern Baptist minister who ran for president in 2008 and kind of got stomped by John McCain, right? Now I think he's like a fucking Fox News Channel like pundit, talking head kind of guy, you know. Anyway, so he decided to do a counter protest, and yesterday was officially Support Chick-fil-a Day, where a bunch of conservative Christians went and to go eat chicken to show that they don't, you know, show how anti-gay they are and how they support taking away rights from people. Anyway, so, you know, and then there's been a lot of herping and derping back and forth and shit like that. Now, I've never actually eaten at a Chick-fil-a, right, because they're not really common here where I live. There's one about like 10 miles away from me in a direction of the city that I just really don't go to very much because I have no business there. So it's like I've never actually eaten there. Okay, so I didn't drive by one today and see a bunch of people in it, but apparently they're more common around the country, like in the South and shit like that, and lots of people have been like, you know, and apparently this counter protest was like really successful. You know, there's like pictures of Sarah Palin and shit eating fucking Chick-fil-a and whatever, right? So, you know, I think it's acceptable, like, because there was a lot of people that, when this whole thing happened, I saw videos from a lot of people talking about things like, you know, you shouldn't protest this company, you know, for doing things like this, because it's, first off, a lot of people are saying it's like small potatoes, because this is what corporations do, you know, they use their money to influence political causes. You know, most of the time it doesn't really have to do with like gay rights, you know. Most of the time it has to do with like finance law and shit like that, and, you know, environmental law and labor laws. But, you know, this is an example too. It's gay rights, gay marriage, you know. Some people are saying that it was just fucking small potatoes and who gives a shit, you know. Some people are saying that it's fucking, this is what corporations do, and, you know, why are you surprised, and, you know, and lots of corporations donate to political candidates. You know, that was one from one guy that I watch here a lot said that, you know, there's lots of corporations that you do business with on a daily basis donate to political candidates, and, you know, how can you keep up with it all and shit like that. And, you know, me personally, you know, I support the boycott, and I think that people should boycott things. You know, I think that it can be a good tool to get a message across and affect change within a corporate culture without having to regulate things, right? But you have to understand that boycotts are usually ineffective, and this reason, they're usually ineffective because they have to be large enough. They have to have enough people to actually cut into the profits of the company that you're boycotting, you know. And in some cases that actually works. You know, if you think back to in the civil rights, you know, Martin Luther King, they boycotted he organized a boycott against public transportation after, you know, Rosa Parks, and black people had to sit in the back of the bus and shit like that, and then they boycotted, you know, the bus system in whatever town that was. It was Selma or something, right? Selma, Alabama, I think it was. I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm no like expert when it comes to civil rights history, but anyway, you know, but that boycott was large enough that, you know, because all the black people used to take public transportation, and so they just walked, and that actually made a difference, you know, and the bus company changed their fucking law, saying, okay, well, we're not going to segregate the buses anymore, right? You know, that's one, at least I think that's what happened, I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but anyway, you know, that's one instance though where it can happen. You know, they can be effective. You know, but you know, there's more often than not, there's more examples of why boycotts fail. You know, if you remember back in 1997, there was the Southern Baptist Convention decided to boycott Disney ironically, because Disney was giving benefits to same-sex partners. You know, and did that do very well? No. You know, that went on until 2005, until they finally officially called the boycott off, right? But the thing was, it was ineffective because most people just don't give a shit. You know, the larger the corporation is, the less effective a boycott will actually be. Number one, because you have to get everybody to not do it. So if it's a small company that, you know, has a very limited revenue stream, they're highly vulnerable to boycotts. But if it's a big company like Chick-fil-a that has fucking branches all over the country, apparently, right? Even though, me personally, I never really heard of them before a few years ago. But anyway, you know, but apparently they're all over the fucking place, and you're just not going to get enough people to actually make a difference. That's the first thing, right? Secondly, there's a counter-protest. So now there's a big group of people that are going to eat there every fucking day, so that it's not going to happen, right? And that's part of the problem. Is it's like, you know, I don't know. I mean, boycotts, they're more symbolic than anything else, you know. And if you really wanted to get results, it seems like it's just a much better way to pass a law or regulation against it, you know. Like in this case, you know, if you really wanted this company to stop supporting like anti-gay rights, you know, organizations, right? If you wanted to stop this corporation from using money that you spent there to go to support organizations that lobby to remove rights from gay people, you know, marriage rights and things like that, right? Then it would, you know, it'd be a lot more effective to pass a regulation that limits corporate spending on political causes. Okay, which is not unheard of. You know, there's lots of other countries in the world that limit the kind of spending that a corporation can do as far as politics go, you know. Now, I suggested this, right, on Reddit and a few other forums that I go to, and more often than not, the answer I got back was that, well, you know, that's bad because that would be interfering with the corporation's freedom of speech, okay? And, you know, that's fine and shit, but my point is that, you know, have you considered that maybe, you know, just maybe a corporation shouldn't have the right to free speech? I mean, have you really thought about that? You know, corporations now, you know, they treat them as people. You know, they're officially persons. You know, Mitt Romney and shit. Corporations are people. But, you know, now there's, you know, a corporate, you know, when you incorporate, that becomes an entity, which is legally a person. So if somebody sues sues you, they're actually suing your corporation, and it's basically, it shields people is what it does. So a corporation can go out, run up all this debt, go out of business, and then the debt belongs to the corporation, and the people that actually spent the money can bail, right? And that's one of the ways that that's one of the tricks that people like Mitt Romney use to, like, you know, launder money, right? Although I'm not accusing Mitt Romney of doing this, but I bet you he has. But anyway, and well, so I mean, the thing is, it's like right now, a corporation, you know, the freedom of speech that a corporation has, you know, enables them to officially lie to people, you know, in their corporate PR campaigns. That's why you get things like Nike saying that our shoes weren't made by slaves and shit when they were, you know, or cigarette companies going, yeah, you know, smoking doesn't cause cancer when it fucking does, and like, you know, because there's no law against them actually using their public relations arms to tell falsehoods, you know what I mean? And it's like, maybe there should be a law against that. Maybe there should be a law that says you can't say, you know, things that are untrue. You know, I mean, like, seriously, like, you know, maybe there should be a law that says, you know, you can't say that, you know, our soda doesn't cause diabetes when it does, you know, or, you know, our product, you know, our fucking chewing tobacco doesn't cause fucking lip cancer when it does, or whatever, you know. And, you know, maybe that's that's what should happen here. Maybe money shouldn't be speech, you know. That was one of the things that, with fucking Citizens United, that the Supreme Court decided that money was actually, you know, speech, and then the corporation should be allowed to spend as much money as they fucking want. Maybe that shouldn't be allowed, you know. Maybe corporations shouldn't be able to spend unlimited amounts of money, or, you know, speech, right, to buy off politicians and pass laws that allow them to get away with shit like this, you know what I mean? And, you know, think about how many problems that in this country that we could solve if we just took away this right from people who aren't even actually real, you know. Disney is not a person, you know. The Walt Disney Company, you know, is not a person, okay? Fucking Starbucks Corporation is not a person. Microsoft is not a person, okay? They're artificial entities that are created to fucking shield people, you know. And we give them the rights of people, and they shouldn't have the rights of people. You know, there's a lot of people saying shit like this. You know, corporations will be people when they can grow old and die, or when they can have children, or whatever. You know, I mean, it's maybe we shouldn't have given them these, you know, artificial people the rights that real people have in the first place. You know, but I don't know. I mean, it just blows my mind, like. You know, the United States, we allow people to get away with like so much shit, and it's like the proportion of what you can get away with is directly related to how much money you have. You know, like I read this thing the other day in China where a government official in China, like a minister of something, right, was fucking executed for taking bribes. I mean, can you believe that? You know, executed? I mean, can you believe if we executed people in our government for taking bribes? You know, people like Jack Abramoff, you know, or fucking Karl Rove, or fucking whatever. If he actually, you know, like Jack Abramoff is a good example. You know, if you don't know who he was a campaign finance guy that worked with Republicans, and he got busted taking like Indian tribal money and using it to fucking, you know, using it to lobby for fucking like gambling and all kinds of really just bad, twisted shit, and he got away with, you know, a few years in prison, and that's it. I mean, can you imagine if people like him actually got the death penalty? You know, like how much? I don't know. I mean, I think the entire fucking system would collapse. But anyway, getting back to the fucking subject, really, you know, Chick-fil-A and all that stuff. Yeah, don't eat there. You know, if you don't want to. Personally, but the problem is it's not going to matter. That's really the only problem. And, you know, if you really want to, like, make changes in this country, you're going to have, the people that need to change are the people that are going there and supporting them. You know, people like Sarah Palin are the ones that are going to have to change. You know, people like Mike Huckabee are the ones that are going to have to change. People lining up outside of this place to eat chicken because they think that somehow the fact that they're eating a fucking chicken sandwich is like saving America. Those are the people that have to change, alright? Those people are the reason why this country is fucked up. Let's be fucking honest about it, okay? So, anyway, folks. Everyone is insane, I guess. I'll talk to you later.